Hello and welcome to today's edition of Africa Day. In this lesson, we'll explore the Ghana Empire of West Africa. In doing so, it highlights the gold and salt trade of the region, which made the empire so wealthy. It will also discuss the importance of iron smelting and taxation. Growing up in the West, my history classes were full of tales of Rome, Greece, and the mighty British Empire. However, we spend very little time discussing the rich histories of places like China or even Africa. In today's lesson, we're going to buck this trend a bit by exploring the Ghana Empire of Africa, a trading empire that ruled in West Africa from about 830 to 1235 CE. When discussing the empire of the Ghanaians, one thing we need to keep in mind is that much of what we know of them has come from legend or has been passed down orally. In other words, giving specific dates and loads of factual tidbits can be a bit difficult. For this reason, we're going to stick to general accepted things about their new way of life and their rule. Iron smelting. For starters, legend holds that the Kingdom of Ghana was established around the year 200 to 300 CE. However, it didn't really begin to take off until the year 350 CE. When the Ghanaian people learned the art of iron smelting, for those of us unfamiliar with this term, iron smelting is the act of melting down raw iron ore in order to extract metal. Using smelting to make iron swords, the Ghanaian warriors were able to conquer the people around them and spread their boundaries to their rule to include much of the Western Sudan by about the year 830 CE. Wealth and trade. With this surge of power, the Ghana Empire took control of West Africa's major trade routes, which carried salt and gold throughout the region and even into Asia and Europe. Of course, this, along with other iron welding warriors, made the kingdom extremely powerful and wealthy. In fact, the name Ghana means both warrior king and king of gold. Speaking of kings, the Ghanaian kings were very adept at using the trade routes to turn a profit. Tradition tells us that the Ghanaian kings taxed all goods that entered Ghana. This made the king so wealthy that legend holds all the gold nuggets in the land belonged to him, while everyone else had to settle for trading gold dust. One tale even speaks of a Ghanaian king using a huge piece of gold as a hitching post for his horses. Taxation and decline. Adding to the wealth of the king and his empire, it wasn't just goods that got taxed. Sort of like our modern toll gates and toll roads, any merchant that entered the kingdom had to pay a fee just to get in. They then had to turn around and pay another fee to leave. Although this sounds a bit lopsided, history tells us it was sort of a win-win for both the Ghanaian rulers and the traveling merchants, since the kings smartly used the fees to fund their armies. With this healthy budget of sorts, the army then made sure Ghana was a safe place to travel and do business. With this setup, the gold and the salt of the empire was not just traded regionally, it also made its way to places like Europe. Sadly for the people of Ghana, the Ghana Empire As their goods were shipped to other parts of the world, the other parts of the world became very interested in getting their hands on the region. In other words, outsiders started thinking, why settle for a little bit of gold when we can conquer them and have it all? As these outside forces began to bear down on the empire, it began to weaken. Finally, in about 1235 CE, the kingdom of Ghana and its wealth fell to Arab invaders from the north. With this, the once mighty warriors of Ghana were reduced to pawns in the war for a wealthy lands of West Africa that would last for generations to come. Let's have a lesson summary. The Ghana Empire of Africa was a trading empire that ruled in West Africa from about 830 to 1235 CE. It used iron smelting, the act of melting down raw iron in order to extract metal, to produce the iron swords which allowed its warriors to conquer much of Western Sudan. With this military power over the trading routes of West Africa, these routes saw gold, salt, and many other goods shipped from Africa to places as far as Europe and Asia. So due to this, the Kingdom of Ghana became very wealthy, with the name Ghana carrying a twofold meaning of warrior king or king of gold. So wealthy and powerful was the empire that it actually takes mentions just for entering and leaving lands. Unfortunately, as for the Ghanaian people traded with the outside world became interested in conquering its wealthy lands. With this, the wealthy empire of Ghana fell to northern Arab invaders around the year 1235 CE. Thank you very much for joining me in today's edition, and see you on the next one.